Most dividend investors compare stocks using today's dividend yield. But long-term income investors often care about a very different number: yield on cost. This visualization tells the story of how 15 well-known dividend growth companies arrived at today's yield on cost, assuming the same investment was made at the beginning of 2017. Instead of looking at a single yield number, we're looking at the entire journey. Yield on cost measures the annual dividend you're receiving today compared to the price you originally paid for your shares. For this comparison, there are no additional purchases and no dividend reinvestment. The only thing changing over time is the dividend itself. That makes it much easier to isolate the effect of consistent dividend growth. Now let's look at the visualization. Each row represents one company. On the left, you'll find its ranking. Next comes the annual dividend growth fingerprint. Every capsule represents 1 year's dividend increase from 2018 through 2025. Lighter capsules indicate smaller increases. Darker capsules represent stronger dividend growth. Together, these yearly increases create a unique fingerprint that explains how each company reached its final yield on cost. The final column shows where each company ended up by the end of 2025. Broadcom immediately stands out. It didn't begin with the highest starting yield, but years of exceptional dividend growth transformed a 2.65% starting yield into more than 15% yield on cost. That's the power of sustained dividend growth over time. AbbVie reached second place through a different path. It combined an already attractive starting yield with consistently strong dividend increases, producing another outstanding long-term income result. Now compare that with companies like Home Depot and Lowe's. Neither relied on unusually high starting yields. Instead, they steadily increased their dividends year after year, allowing income to compound into yield on cost figures above 7%. Then look further down the ranking. Microsoft, S&P Global, and Costco are all exceptional businesses, yet they finish much lower. Not because they failed to grow their dividends, but because they started with much lower dividend yields. Even excellent dividend growth takes time to overcome a very small starting income stream. That's really what this visualization teaches. Yield on cost isn't determined by dividend growth alone. It reflects the combination of where a company started and how consistently it continued to raise its dividend. Some companies begin with generous income, others build it over many years, and a select few manage to deliver both. That's why the fingerprint is so useful. Instead of seeing only the final result, you can see the entire pattern that created it. Every company leaves behind a different dividend growth fingerprint, making it much easier to understand not only where it ranks today, but why it earned that position.